Hi, first graders. It's Mrs. Hassler. I sure have been missing you kiddos the last 2 days. I think today we need to have some fun. So, today we're going to pretend like we are detectives. So, go ahead and put on your pretend detective hat, put on your pretend fuzzy mustache, go ahead and grab your pretend magnifying glass, and you're going to help me find some vowel team words today. On Friday, boys and girls, we are going to have a reading word assessment where you're going to be reading some phonics and sight words to Mrs. Schmidt and I. So today I thought we would play a little I Spy to review those phonics words that we have to know and our vowel teams. So what I need you to do is get into your day 2 packet that's in your virtual learning folder and grab this I Spy Unit 4 review word sheet. You will need that today. Go ahead and grab that out. You can pause the video if you need to while you go look. And you're also going to need this I Spy paper where you're going to be writing down your notes or answers like a detective. So go ahead and pause the video, grab those out of your day 2 packet, and then we can get started. Before we begin, I thought that I would share a cute little joke with you. What do you call a detective that's an alligator? An investigator. Okay, here we go, boys and girls. You should have your papers in front of you. You've got your magnifying glasses ready to be searching through your word list. We've got to find all the clues. Here we go. Number 1. I spy a word with IGH that says the long I vowel sound I. So I want you now to go through your word list. Look for any word or words that has the IGH within the word that says I. And you're going to write it on your I Spy paper in box number 1. You can write one answer or you can write multiple answers. You can pause the video at any time so that you can go through and write down your answers, and then you can start the video back up when you're ready for the next one. The answer choices that you could have written for the words that have IGH, making the long I vowel sound, are light with IGH saying I, and night with IGH saying I. I bet you're off to a great start. Let's move on. Number 2, I spy a word with the vowel team OA that says the long O sound O. So I want you to look through your word list, look carefully, and I want you to write down any words that have the OA vowel team that says O. You have to write at least one, but if you'd like to write more, be my guest. That makes a great detective right there. Write your word choice in box number 2. And again, you can pause the video to write your answer. And here are some answer choices that you could have written down for numbers 2. You could have written down the word goat with that OA vowel team. You could have written the word toast with the OA vowel team saying O. Or you could have written down the word soak with the OA boys and girls, OA vowel team saying O. Let's move on. Number 3, I spy a word with the vowel team AI that says the long A vowel sound A. So now you should be searching on your word list for any words that have the AI vowel team that says A. Write your word choice or choices in box number 3 on your I Spy paper, and you are welcome to pause the video so that you can write your answers down. Let's look at our answer choices. Here are some words that you could have written down for your answers. You could have written down the word tail with the AI vowel team saying A. You could have written down the word male where the AI vowel team says A. Or you could have written down the word pale where the AI vowel team says A. Let's keep going. Number 4, I spy a word with the vowel team IE that says E. It says the long E vowel sound E. Now we've learned that IE also says I, but it can also say long E. So this time I want you to write your word choice or choices in box number 4 on your I Spy paper, a word or words that has the IE that says E? Let's check our work. The answer choice for this one was the word chief. Chief. The IE vowel team, in this case, says E. Let's move on. Number 5. I spy a word with the vowel team EA that says the long E vowel sound E. So I'd like you to search through your word list and write the word or words in box number 5 that have the vowel team EA that says E. And again, you're welcome to pause your video so that you can write your answers down. Let's check our work. The word choices that you could have written down were the words read, where the vowel team EA says E, or you could have written down the word neat, where the vowel team EA says E. On to the next one. Number 6, I spy a word that ends with a Y that says I. Now, we've learned that Y doesn't just make its consonant sound yeah. It can also be sneaky, and it likes to put the hats on of long E or long I. In this case, you're searching for a word that ends with a Y that says I. So don't go and just write any word down that ends with a Y. Make sure that that Y says I at the end of the word. Write your word choice or choices in box number 6. And your answer choice should have been the word spy, which is perfect for this game since we are detectives. That Y at the end of spy makes a long I vowel sound. Number 7, I spy a word with the vowel team EE that says the long E sound E. Write your word choice or choices in box number 7 of any word or words that have the vowel team EE that says E. And the answer choices that you could have written down were the words seek, reef, and need, all that have the vowel team EE that says E. Number 8, I spy a word ending with AY that says long A. So you're looking for a word that has the vowel team AY that says A. Again, be careful. Don't just write down a word that ends with a Y. You want to make sure that this is a word that ends with AY and that it says A. Write your word choice or choices in box number 8. And the word choices that you could have written down were the words say and ray. Both words end with that AY vowel team saying A. Number 9, I spy a word with the vowel team, OE, that makes a long O vowel sound. I would like you in box number 9 to write your word choices in the box provided, any words that have the OE vowel team that says O. Let's take a look at some answers. You could have written down the name Joe. Please notice that Joe begins with a capital letter because it is a proper noun. And we have the word toe. Both of these words end with that OE vowel team that says O. Number 10, I spy a word ending with the vowel team EY that makes a long E vowel sound of E. And again, be careful. Don't be hasty. Don't just write down a word that ends with Y. Make sure that it ends with the vowel team EY and makes a long E vowel sound. Write your word choice or choices in box number 10. The answer choice that you could have written down, boys and girls, for number 10 was the word key. Key ends with the vowel team EY that says E. Number 11, I spy a word with OO that says ooh. I spy a word with OO that says ooh. Be very careful when you're looking through your words. Don't just write down any words that have that OO. Make sure that those two O's make the ooh vowel sound, okay? Be very careful. And you could have written down the words room and tooth. Both make that ooh sound. Room and tooth. Number 12. I spy a word ending with Y that says long E. Now be careful on this one. Make sure that it doesn't end with EY or AY. It's just going to end with that consonant Y that says E, long E. You can write your choice in box number 12. And your answer choice that you should have written down was something yummy, candy. In this word, we have Y being really sneaky and making a long E vowel sound. Candy. And boys and girls, I do want to take time to show you this little video over vowel teams.
Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Sometimes a consonant can be in a vowel team. E, E, says E. O, A, says O. A, I, says A. A, Y, says A. O, I, says oi. O, Y, says oi. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Sometimes a consonant can be in a vowel team. E, A, says E. E, A, says F. E, A, says A. I, E, says E. I, E, says I. E, Y, says E. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Sometimes a consonant can be in a vowel team. O, W, says O. O, W, says ow. O, U, says ow. O, U, says oo. O, O, says oo. O, O, says oo. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Sometimes a consonant can be in a vowel team. A, U, says or. A, W, says or. E, W, says you. E, W, says oo. U, E, says you. U, E, says oo. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Vowel teams, vowel teams. Two vowels that make one vowel sound. Sometimes a consonant could be in a vowel team. And don't forget, IGH says I.
All right, boys and girls, you did a great job being detectives today. I just know that you found all the right words to solve the case of the missing vowel teams. Okay, now I want to give you a big reminder. You need to make sure that you're practicing your phonics and sight words for Unit 4. Again, you're going to be reading your words to Mrs. Schmidt and I on Friday. And you want to be able to do your very, very best. So be practicing those words, and I will see you guys on Friday. Thanks for playing I Spy with me.